Chito Vera going to fight Sean O'Malley for the bantamweight championship, UFC 299 in Miami. Obviously, we're going to talk about the fight, but sometimes we're sitting here and we're talking a little bit as the cameras get set up. And you said something that was kind of interesting. We were talking about your tattoos. First of all, that you don't have much space left.
Yeah, not really.
So you got to be pretty selective about what you go with.
Super selective and no more like. I mean, honestly, it makes you feel good. You can do little things to f around. You can do. I've been doing big tattoos lately, but I don't have any regrets as now. So I've been very good with it.
And I thought that maybe one thing that you and Sean could have seen eye to eye on is tattoos, because he obviously is a big tattoo guy as well.
Right.
But then I asked you, well, you still have your face. You have not touched your face, but you will not do the face tattoos like Sean has.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, if we really put in perspective, he have trash tattoos.
I was going to ask you if
they're whatever it means, I don't know. I don't care. But if you see plain the tattoo, he got. I mean, it's really, in my opinion, and in the tattoo world, I've been getting tattooed by the best in the world. Like, not just big names as today's social media, but legends of the game. So like when I see tattoos like that, most fighters have like tattoos. Like they used to go to a. You just don't go to any tattoo shop and get tattoo. It don't work like that. But they don't know. They just wanna look cool online or whatever, or just because the fighter vibe. But sometimes I see tattoos, I'm like, wow, that's bad.
Like, so I don't want this this interview to be all about tattoos.
Right.
But give me some of the worst ones in the UFC, and then give me some of the best ones in the UFC, in your opinion.
I mean, as of today, his name escaped my head. The welterweight, thick, good wrestler. He beat Michael Chiesa.
Oh, Sean Brady.
Sean Brady got good traditional tattoos. They're really loud. They're well done. He have good tattoos. Volkov went from having a small tattoo in his back to just overnight did a crazy mask. That mask is done well. I'm sure if you guys will escape my head, but if we go with ugly tattoos, I mean, I just don't see good pieces out there.
Yeah. Have you seen Dan Hooker go from like none to his whole body?
Yeah, I mean, his tattoos are done well. It's not my style, but they look done well. Even Oliveira's back is done well.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. It's not what. Even if we both have black and gray backs, I would have put more things than just one big face. But that's done well. Like some guys have well done tattoos, but most of the guys have some really awful art. But I guess what you don't know, you don't know. That's like when you start training, you just walk and you go to any grappling school. That doesn't mean it's gonna be a good school. So when I was younger, I was a big fan of tattoos. So I did my research and I was just looking around. And when I moved to the US, I kind of already knew that these tattoo artists exist, and one day eventually would like to get tattooed by them. Yeah. And here we are.
Last question, just because I'm very curious. How much money do you think you've spent on tattoos in your life?
I am very expensive. From as you can see, I mean, I've been tattooed by the best of the best. I've been tattooed by Mr. Cartoon, Franco Vescovi, Burt Crack, Stevie Weavy, Sean Topper. I've been tattooed by really great artists, and they're not cheap. Because I'm nice, they take care of me. But it's still not. Tattoos are not cheap, and they shouldn't, because if they're that good, they gotta worth something. And these guys are like big names. So yeah, tattoos ain't cheap, but I love them. I love the way they look, and I will keep getting more.
I mean, you're pretty expensive just with the ink on your body, and then it's just like I mean, we're sitting in this house, and I wish people could see this house. Like, I've been talking about how cool your house is. You just moved in here, and it kind of makes me wonder, like, when life is so good, because it just seems like life is good, you're comfortable, you're happy, like, is it better for a fighter to have a really comfortable life, or is it better when you're fighting and clawing for like every inch of your life, because you have experienced both? Like, what makes you more dangerous?
I mean, you have to do both. You have to work so hard and be so miserable because you're so obsessed with getting somewhere. But when you get somewhere, which I already get there, you gotta find ways to don't be comfy again. That's why if we talk about my house is beautiful. Me and my wife, when we saw this place, we were like, I don't care how many offers are, we want this house, I wanna buy this house. I pretty much saw the house, me and my wife, we bought it a little bit up, and we together, each fight, we would do things, get it better. And once we get it beautiful, and we couldn't do more to get it better, we found this place. And when we were like, wow, I'm gonna let my first love go. But talking about what you just say, don't stay comfy. I was really comfy in my old house. It was fully redone, it was beautiful, low mortgage payment, refied. I was nice and comfy. And I'm a gambler. And if we talk about rolling the dice, I'm that guy. Mm-hmm. We found this place, we fell in love with this place, and it was more everything. More work, could be way more expensive. All the fix of this will be even more because it's better, it's bigger, we got all we need. And some people advise me, like, you don't need to do that. Mm-hmm. You're already comfy. But going back to that, you can't get comfy in life. You always gotta be looking forward to something. You always gotta be looking forward to improve, get better, figure it out, how to invest your money, where to go. And I mean, I am the face of the immigrant mentality. I didn't came to this country to just be another one. I came here to do big things, to do great, and everything I do is for the benefit of my family. Everything I do is to make sure they're set up. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, they have to know how hard it was for me and for my wife to get here, how much we sacrificed to be here. And that's one thing I feel a lot of spoiled kids don't get. Parents did so much for you. Why you f***ed up so bad? Mm-hmm. It's probably someone didn't explain you since early how much is how hard it was to get that. Nothing was easy. Money don't come out of trees. I mean, you can drive all the cars in the world. That costs you something. You can have everything in life. That costs you, everything have a price. And sometimes kids have to know that nothing just come by. You don't have to treat them like this is the military, but you gotta let them know. You gotta make effort in life to get things.
When you, as you're going into this first world championship fight of your career, of your life, do you think about the doubt, like when you were in Ecuador and you would tell people, like, I've heard you tell that story and I know that it means a lot to you, like, I'm going to be in the UFC someday, and it's like no one from Ecuador has ever been there. It's like you're not going to be there. You know, do you think about, are you the kind of person that thinks about that stuff a lot as you go into the title fight?
Yeah, I mean, every time I like to, every time things are getting a little hard or seems that they're further away, you just got to think about you 5 years ago, how far it looked, how dark it looked, the light in that tunnel. Like, you don't see nothing. But if you keep going, if you keep plugging away and you keep trying and you keep trying to find a way, eventually you're going to get there. The problem with most people, they quit right before that finish line could be there. But it's invisible. You just got to keep going in order to get there. And a lot of people get tired to swim. And they gave up and they drown. I mean, at the end of the day, we are going to go and die. Why not give our best chance at this? Why don't go as far as we can? I mean, why not? Mm-hmm. And just don't stop. The moment you stop, you stay behind. Mm-hmm. Life is a marathon with bump and bruises and bad days and darker days, but we all feel the same. Best in the world feel like that. Nobody in the world feels like that. We all go into that up and down. It's just how you handle it and how you figure out how to keep going forward.
Has it felt at all different? And guys get this question all the time when they're going into a big fight, but has it felt different as you prepare for this one? That it's just like everything you've done leading up to this has been like winning a world championship in Miami at UFC 299. So like, has that kind of, is that in your mind as you're getting ready for it?
I mean, just knowing the fact that it's for the title it does make it different. It does make it like it's pressure added. It's everything more added. Everything's more magnified. Everything is more like it's just bigger. And I would say this time to time and time. Coach said it best. Is how you handle things leading up to that, because before the title fight, everybody want to talk to you. Everybody want to be your friend. Everybody want to sponsor you. But is that gonna be there forever? That's not gonna be there forever. Forever is gonna be your real circle, your real family, your closest friends. Besides that, you gotta still focus in on what's in front of you. A lot of people, once they get this type of attention, they stay under the cloud. You gotta stay away from the cloud and keep plugging away, keep grinding, keep doing what got you there, which was winning. And how you win? By working hard, by staying disciplined. Sometimes the light hurt people, and I do believe I do a great job on staying on my lane and keep doing my thing, because at the end of the day, that's how you keep getting things. That's how you keep growing, and that's about it.
I know that the title itself is what means the most to you, but like if you could have created any kind of scenario, like whatever it was, like maybe Dominic Cruz had been like running the division and you had beat him, like you had been the guy to beat Dominic Cruz, or you know, if Aldo would have won the title at 135 and been holding it, or Jan in like Russia, or do you like well, how do you feel about just the circumstances of it? Sean O'Malley in Miami, like is that how you would have drawn it up? Does it matter? Like what do you think of the circumstances?
I don't think I could imagine my first title fight to be Miami, that close from home. I mean, that's gonna feel a lot like Ecuador. It's gonna be a lot of Ecuadorians. It's gonna be loud. It's gonna be big, and I'll be prepared for that.
I've heard you say in other interviews that the difference in this rematch is going to be, well, not even the difference, like the outcome will be determined by once the fight really gets into a fight that he won't want to be there. Like he can't handle like the fight that you're going to bring to him. Like do I get that right? Is that what you're saying?
I'm sure his confidence is gonna be way higher just because he just beat Aljamain and he's coming off a big win and he won the title, right? But if you have enough common sense, Aljamain, great fighter overall, but the guy cannot strike. If he goes into a kickboxing match, the guy cannot strike. It's all awkward, it's all weird to get to his shot and make you work from there and eventually get to a good position. But if you go punch for punch, he can fight. And we all know that. The way he lost the fight was the same way he get a stop against Moraes. It's not a lucky shot. He's not seeing nothing. He just closes his eyes and swing and eventually get to a leg and then he can climb up. I can fight. I can be in front of you. I can read you. I can take a punch and I can punch just as hard as you. I know how strong I am. I know how good I am. And to be honest, I just feel that I'm gonna make him quit. I feel I'm gonna break him and just give him a reason to go home.
And what are you basing that on? Are you basing that on something in him? Or are you just basing that on you? That
That's
you will give him that reason? Or why do you think he'll quit?
That's on me. I worked so hard to get to where I am today that I'm not gonna get in there and just kind of like let it go. A lot of fighters, sometimes they're ready, but mentally, they let loose. They're like, oh, okay, I can live another day. I don't want to live another day if I'm not gonna give everything from me. And winning, success is never guaranteed. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you say. Chances that something doesn't go your way, they're high. And you gotta be alert and aware of that. And that's how you also win. Knowing that things can be farther or harder for you. Because we just never know. One punch, one kick, one anything can change how things go. But that's when I know I can dig deep, I can bite down and say, bring it.
What impact do you think that you guys have fought before? Is there any impact on the second fight? Does it matter?
I try to think that doesn't matter. New opponent, new energy, just similar face. Because time passes and people change and everything changes. So for any reason, I'm thinking this can be easy. For any reason, I'm thinking I'm gonna get it quick. I'm always expecting the worst. On my last 30 fights, I have never think, oh, it's gonna be easy tonight. I put all the pressure on my shoulders. I see the worst scenarios and I say, let's see what happens. Let's go and let's go hard.
What do you think the fight is going to look like in terms of, and I asked you this when we were watching a little bit of film before, but that Chito starts slow? Like, do you think it's going to be like a feel-out fight, or do you think that because you've already kind of been in there will be some familiarity already? And what do you think of, like, because everyone's going to be saying that. I bet the commentators, like, right when the fight starts, are going to be like, Chito starts slow. You know, like, that's just part of your narrative now. Like, is that going to, do you think, well, how will this fight start, do you think?
It's going to start as a fight. We will fight. I mean, I'm not very good at reading comments or paying attention to the public opinion. I get it. I heard it because I watch my fights sometimes just to get a little more knowledge on what I can do or what I shouldn't do. But, I mean, that's just another opinion. That's literally just an opinion. Oh, he's too slow, he's too fast, or he's crazy. Everybody will tell you should do something. And everybody will say, dude, sometimes I need you to do something. I'm like, you do it. Go in there and do it. I don't see other fighters tell me, like, dude, you're too slow. It's just public opinion, and honestly, I don't care. I mean, I can change my style or go crazy. I mean, talking about changing the style, audio could be excuse, could be true. He was saying, oh, I was trying to be entertainment, that's why I felt like that. I don't give a f who's watching. I'm trying to win myself. I want to do it for my family. I want to do it for my own self, for my ego, because I want to be a world champion. At the end of the day, I live for my family and I want to give them the best. And being a world champion will be part of that. So I want to fight the way I fight, and I'm ready to fight.
And your kids are 5'8", right?
5, 8, and 12.
So they are definitely old enough to know what's going on. Like, sometimes you have these fighters who are like, yeah, I'm going to bring my son to the fight, and it's like an infant, you know?
Yeah,
like,
no, they know what's going on. They know. I mean, they know for a while now. For my last few fights, they understand, and I try to explain them. Sometimes they ask me. Like, one time my son asked me, are you scared when you fight? And I said, 100% you're scared. You're worried. You're nervous. And I told him literally word for word how I feel. And I feel he respect me for that. Or eventually one day he will really understand it and be like, wow, because how many people, a lot of that will be probably like, no, it's fine, it's just a fight. Kind of like to don't get the kid worried. I mean, they're gonna be there watching live. They have to understand a little bit how I feel. And they're great kids because they know when I have a fight, I'm eating less, I'm training harder, I got pressure. And they kind of like respect that too. Like, they don't get too crazy with me sometimes. When, can we do this? I'm like, can you guys let me rest for 45 minutes, an hour, and then we do it? They're cool. So, I mean, that's all I can ask for. Being a little better version than I was as a kid, and eventually become a better version than I am today.
Are they like nervous? Like, oh my, like this is such a big fight, or they care more about, like, you know, what's going on?
I mean, I'm sure they care about my health if something bad happened. But I don't know. I mean, the energy of fight day, it's really dark and dense, and I'm sure my mom, my wife, everybody around me are super nervous. They will pick up on that energy, and they will get nervous. So I'm sure they're scared too. But I mean, that's why I work hard, just to not let them down. And at the end of the day, like I said before, success is never guaranteed in anything in the world. But I like to put myself on the line, and I will bet on myself all the time.
Just a couple more. So you have dark energy on a fight day? Like, I mean, different guys have different kind of temperaments. Like, where does your mind go on the day of a fight? Like, and where do you think it'll be in Miami?
I mean, you have to first figure it out, how to use those nerves and feed from them, and kind of like understand your guts. You're gonna feel a lot in your guts on fight day. But eventually you like, you know, you start like amping and you start like, let's go. But when I say dark energy, it's because it's dense. I mean, you're not going to play a game. You're not going to hit a ball. You're gonna get in a fist fight. And I'm not taking nothing away from any other sport. I'm sure when you're in the basketball live on the big arena, that hole gets smaller. But at the end of the day, you're not getting punch or kick in the face. You're not getting elbow in the face. You know, it's a lot going on. So I make sure that day I just condense all my energy and I make sure I let all go.
Last thing, and I like asking guys this for some reason, but how do you think you'll react? Are you you gonna cry when you win a world championship? Like such a long journey, man. What do you think you'll do?
I feel having the belt around my waist and just having my family in front of me, my team next to me. I feel like 100% I'm gonna cry. I mean, there's no way you don't. I mean, unless you don't give a f. I do give a f. Becoming a world champion sounds epic, sounds impossible, and I really want to become one.
Can you remember, when do you think it was the first time you're like, I'm going to be a UFC champion? Like, I'm going to have that belt. When was like the first time you thought it?
On my first win streak in the UFC, I felt like when I beat, I fought the Chinese guy in Australia. Then I beat Brad Pickett by head kick. Then I beat Kelleher, that he was coming as a prospect, kind of. He came in hot in the UFC. His UFC debut, he beat number 15 in the world, blah, blah, blah. And then I finished 2 out of those 3 guys, and I was like, I'm going to be a world champion. Because before that, it was just figuring out how to win a fight so you can have enough money to stay in the States. And at the beginning, you can say this, but I was really at the beginning trying just to have enough cash to make it another month in the US. That was really it. Then when you get in a win streak, you're like, okay, I really can do something with this. And I'm here now.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a few weeks ago to make that dream a reality.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, man, I keep thinking of these questions because I just get curious about it. But do you think this will be the final one? Do you look at Sean and think like maybe he could be like a long-term rivalry? Like maybe we could have a great long rivalry, like combat sports rivalry when you think about those and like boxing history and everything else, MMA history, of course. Like, do you think he could be that guy for you, or do you think the story ends here with him?
I don't care. I will fight him 10 more times, or I will fight him never again. I'm not a picky. I'm not picky. I'm just, whoever's in front of me, that person needs to get hurt. I'm not really like expecting all these movies. I don't care. I know there's great adversaries in there, DC and John Jones. I mean, there's so many, but Garbrandt Dillashaw, GSP with Hughes or Matt Serra, but I don't care. I mean, if we fight again, we fight again. All that matters is 299, March 9th. That's all that matters today for me.
Oh, thank you for having us in your house,
Anytime,
man.
brother. Thank you.
Best of luck.